Alrighty, what's up? What up, my Thursday friends? Or if you're not watching this on Thursday, I guess my whatever other day friends. How you guys doing? It is Thursday though right now for me, and that means another episode of Inside Star Citizen, which is, kind of a fun time of the week, especially when you get not great monthly reports. Oh. All right, but let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what they've got for us this week. I'm hoping we get it looks like some refueling stuff going on. I want something impressive to look at. Let's see what they got.
The experience we're trying to build with refueling is a bit of an interconnectedness between the players.
It's the first player-to-player trade that we will offer in the game.
Refueling is another support career that we think is very important for Star Citizen.
Imagine getting stuck out near a planet in a Gladius without fuel.
Until now, ships were pretty much able to get fuel out of the thin air, and that was not the goal for all ships. That was supposed to be something very specific.
And when he says thin air, he literally means vacuum. Mostly.
Specific to certain ships that have that functionality. Right now, all of the ships that, let's say, are basic fighter ship, they're not going to have that functionality. They will have to rely on someone bringing fuel to them.
I wonder how that's categorized. He just said basic fighter ships, right? So there's I don't know, where does that stop? Ares? Redeemer? Hawk? I guess the Hawk would definitely count.
In our first iteration of refueling right now, we sadly don't have the quantum beacon set up yet. So if you run out of fuel, you ask for someone in chat who owns a Starfarer to come by and refuel you.
That's really rough. I know they're talking about this as of right now. I really hope by the time this launches they have a beacon that can be spawned though. We don't need to be hopping in global chat to get refueled. That's oh boy.
This person with a Starfarer needs to get fuel from any station.
Instead of buying it into the ship's fuel tank, you buy it into the Starfarer's fuel pod.
Okay, now this is interesting. This is probably maybe the third or fourth full UI we've seen, or full screen UI they've made on building blocks. So, interesting stuff going on. To be honest, there's more here than we can really go through right now on the spot, but it's interesting. There's a decent amount of info. I can't say much more than that. I'm not a fuel monkey.
To the ship's fuel tank, you buy it into the Starfarer's fuel pods, which can be filled either with quantum fuel or hydrogen fuel, depending on what.
It is interesting, though. They're showing flow rates, safe flow rate, too fast, too small. This is something they talked about when it comes to refueling. You're not just going to press a button and fill up a ship. You have to actively make sure that ship is getting the right amount of fuel that it needs. There's nothing here on time, though. Oh, there we go. Estimated time. Okay, cool.
Whatever is the need on the market.
We do this through the current service app that we have updated. So the same way you used to repair and refuel your ships before, now you will have some extra controls that will let you repair and refuel through the current.
This is a MobiGlass app rework that we're looking at here. This is the repair, refuel, and restock rework. Looks pretty basic, to be honest.
Service app that we have updated.
At least there's
so
more.
The same way you used to repair and refuel your ships before, now you will have some extra controls that will let you decide what goes inside a fuel tank.
Once you have purchased the fuel and you want to adjust the price that the others have to pay for the fuel that you have in your Starfarer now.
That's good. The fact that they let you choose the price is also really cool. That's going to be super important. I mean, this might be... Just thinking, this might be the first legitimate professional transaction we can make, right? In the game, because you can't sell your mined goods to somebody else to refine, and I don't believe anybody else can sell your mined goods straight off the bat. So this might actually be the first professional transaction between players. That should be fun to see. Of course, we have the currency sending app. That's outside of what I'm talking about.
At this point, the refueler player has to fly all the way to where the person is stranded in the middle of nowhere. and the docking operation can begin.
How you gonna dock if you got no fuel?
Docking complete. Engines offline.
Once they have docked with you, they use the same MobiClass interface to make a request for fuel. And we're introducing something called an escrow service that basically takes the money for the transaction and only starts paying it out as the transaction advances. So if for whatever reason you either cancel the transaction
Sorry, I had to make a quick cut there.
or pirates show up and you have to do an emergency undock, there should be no money loss as fuel is paid for as it is dispensed.
Once the payment request was received on the Starfarer, you have to open the dedicated fuel pods that hold the dedicated fuel for that transfer
It's a little more
and
applied.
activate the nozzle.
Estimated time, estimated money. This is a proper thing. I can't believe it. I hope this pans out.
You have to remember that the target ship will only take as much fuel as they have actually paid for. So if somebody has asked for 500 units of quantum, and you open the nozzle at full throttle, and send 2,000 their way, well, then most of that fuel is just gonna spill into space. You're gonna lose it. And so there's a bit of yes, people want somebody who's very fast and efficient, but don't burn your own fuel.
There it is. There it is. Skill. You got to have a little bit of skill to do these things. It's nice to know that now they need to show how easy refueling is going to be, but it's nice to know that somebody who wants to be a fuel rat, fuel bug, or whatever you want to call it from whatever game, they can do that very realistically.
Once the entire fuel was delivered to the dock ship, the attached ship can undock and both parties can go their way. Right now we are still iterating a lot over the UI parts. What we don't want to do is throw all the data directly in your face. It should all be readable and accessible for all the players.
As we keep delving further and further into other solar systems, we do not want to create this gamey thing where there's always fuel for everything. There's always everything you need.
You might end up in systems where there is nothing. There is no civilization at all, there are no stations, there are not even people.
How cool would that be?
There needs to be that scarcity of resources, and if you want to get a major endeavor going, you have to think of all the logistics of it, and fuel is one big part of that.
Sorry, had to step away again, but we're back.
Is the next major milestone for life in the persistent universe, and is making its long-awaited debut in Star Citizen's upcoming Alpha 317 release as we continue our journey towards Pyro throughout this year. And up next, a new way to traverse the surface of any planet or moon. Let's find out more about the recently revealed hover quad from Consolidated Outland. Yeah, they can't buzz me now because everybody already knows.
The hover quad is, what do I want to say?
It is an all-terrain vehicle.
I've forgotten the word I want to use. Exactly what it sounds like.
Hovers.
About as good as I could do.
So this is quite a bit different, both visually and philosophically, to a lot of our other ground vehicles.
Our other two Gravlevs, both of which are armed and shielded. The hover quad has neither. It's much more focused on the ability to travel across the surface of the planet rather than start fights or bring a friend along.
It's got an inventory on board, so anything small you find you can put on board.
I mean, it's a cool
because
bike.
It's got a wider wheelbase,
Just
so
like-
to speak, or bigger Gravlevs. It's able to account for those changing variables over a rocky surface. Whereas something like the Nox, yes, it can go like a bullet in a straight line, but if it catches something the wrong way, it's going to lose stability a lot quicker than the hover quad's going to.
This is just devs having a blast with this thing.
It's something we've actually had in the pipeline for quite a while. It was a nice little add-on that we did as part of the Consolidated Outlands Nomad concept development.
The original concept for the Nomad was designed with the hover quad in the back. So that was one of the big concerns we had when developing the vehicles, to make sure that it could in fact fit in the back and you can drive it in the back.
Yeah, plenty of space in that thing. I like the Nomad.
A good sort of use case for this is you've landed on a planet in your parent vehicle, but for whatever reason you do not want to carry on in that vehicle, or the place you want to actually go is just too compact, maybe down a cave. So you need something to transport you to your destination.
They're doing phenomenal on their film work in these new episodes.
This kind of gives you the ability to really enjoy and feel the environment more than you would when you're 6,000 feet above it, you know? You're right there, you're down at the base, and you can touch and see and smell everything around you.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that refueling brings with it a new journey towards additional support mechanics in Star Citizen's persistent universe. That it's time to dust off your Starfare ahead of the next big race like the Stand-in 7 or the Daymar Rally. And that the hover quad is here to expand the universe's Gravlove offerings. Now, don't forget that Xenothreat is returning. Check out the recently published This Month in Star Citizen post on the robertspaceindustries.com website for details on everything that's happening in February. And tune into Twitch tomorrow to see Director of Graphics Engineering Allie Brown discuss all things graphical on Star Citizen Live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next week.
What do you guys think? Do you think that means that we're going to get to hear about Gen 12? Or are they just going to talk about how shadows roll across new hover bikes? I don't know. I'm being a little salty. I'm not going to lie. We've gone through 2 months now of Inside Star Citizens, either non-existent in January or mainly about ships in December. Like November was basically... Am I really getting Discord sounds? November was basically ships, right? And then December was, you know, there's a little bit of stuff going on there, but ships. There's a lot of work that was done in that time though, and I'm actually kind of surprised that we only got one sprint report for that. I guess they gave us all of the work that they've done, or that they want to show us last week, and now it's the new hovercraft from a month ago. But, you know, the hovercraft is cool. I don't think it's necessary, but they're focusing on ground gameplay, so it'll probably be pretty useful in Pyro. The refueling, that's pretty cool. And the fact that they are definitely sticking to that, you know, that philosophy of this is something you can do because you need to do it in the game, but this is also something that's really hard to do, and somebody can specialize in it. As long as they keep doing that in this game, honestly, I'm pretty much on board. If they're building a space sim that's about skill, that's about making decisions, making good choices, and affecting the overall state of the game, that's what I look for. So, you know, despite a lot of things not making me happy, especially this week, and there being delays and certain things focused on that I don't like, still kind of head in the direction that I like. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for being here. Catch you next week.